Good morning. I hope everyone. Actually, wait, shoot, it's afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope everyone's having a good afternoon. Welcome on in. I'm sorry, Shifty. I came back because I had OBS all set up to get ready to stream, and then I went downstairs to go make a cup of tea. When I got back, I saw it and I was like, oh no, I completely missed it. I'm sorry. Also, Anime, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Let me just pop across to here. Hello, hello, hello. I have had a fantastic day. It has been so good. Not only did I see some of my family, I also saw dogs. And I got to pet them, and I got to look after them, and give them belly scritches and head scritches. And it was so good. How the dog, they were so good. A little bit, nervous when because Shiny had to look after them while we went upstairs, just so I could show them like the upstairs part of the house, because it's still, there's no floorboards, and there's a lot of like spikes for where carpets were, so it's just not really safe for dogs upstairs right now. Honestly, it's barely safe for humans, I swear. but other than that, they were very, very good, and they were very cute and very sweet, and they were very, honestly, like, you could let them wander around, and they didn't really go up the stairs, so that was good. It was just like, if they were going close to it, someone would be like, up. And then they'd come back and it'd be like, yeah, you good bean. Panther, welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. And Morrigue, welcome on in. Welcome. I hope everyone's doing good. I've had a really good morning. I'm a little bit sleepy now, to be honest. I had a really big lunch because I ate the rest of the sushi rice, and so I'm like, oh, a little bit tired, but I've had an amazing morning of petting dogs, and I was like, you know what, we'll do a couple of hours of streaming, and then tomorrow maybe do a bit more. Actually, no, wait, tomorrow's going to be kind of the same thing as today, actually. I think I have some people coming over in the morning, so I might be doing another afternoon stream tomorrow. The only difference is I might maybe do something a little different tomorrow. We'll see. I'm working on something behind the scenes. It'd be kind of fun to do some of it on stream, but we'll see. It's been great. It's King's Day. Ooh, heck yeah. Oh, I hope you've had a good King's Day then. I don't know if that's something where you'd say Happy King's Day, but Happy King's Day. I went to a secondhand market. I love a secondhand market. I got so many things for my sewing room and stuff like that from secondhand markets. When I first started sewing for the first time, I got lots of stuff from secondhand markets because I'd buy secondhand curtains and practice sewing with them and stuff. So, yeah, I love them. Quina, I did. Don't worry, I pet them all. I pet all of the doggos. So they've all had many, many pets. They were so cute. They were very excited. Very, very excited, but they were so cute. Maybe that's why I'm tired. I'm tired from all of the energy, but they were so cute. Heck yeah, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would recommend petting a dog. Oh dear. I'm sure a lot of you, it sounds a bit silly because if you own a dog or anything like that, I'm sure you get to spend lots and lots of time with your dog, but we don't own a dog, and yes, I love petting them. Got some stuff for my exam, some nice big bee. Ooh, very hecking nice. Hell yeah. Oh, honestly, that sounds really good. I don't feel like I often, at least at the ones near us, they don't often have beads and stuff. They have a lot of cake decorating stuff. If you're into cake decorating, secondhand markets might be for you, at least the ones near me, but not so much beading and sewing stuff. That's pretty hecking cool. Ah, dear. Yeah, tomorrow I have a bit of a different stream planned. I don't know if people will enjoy it. I guess I can talk about it because if it's not your thing, then you could just skip tomorrow's stream. So tomorrow on stream, I'm actually going to be recording my stream, and I'm going to be doing a live tutorial on how to set up a VTuber in VTube Studio. So I'm going to be going through all of the sliders, a bit of everything, and then I'll cut it down later and make it into a more condensed video with the most important points. Just because obviously we have a lot of people in the community that are setting up VTubers for the first time and stuff like that. So I figured if we did it on Twitch, we'd get the Twitch community, and then I can upload it to YouTube later. And that way, if I commission anyone, I can send them the link if they're struggling with setup, because there is a lot of things to think about. And if you're new to VTube Studio, or even if you're not new, but you're a bit I guess intimidated by the parameters and stuff like that, I'm happy to talk through what all of them do, why you move them, stuff like that. Even if you have your set well as well, I won't go into it too much now because obviously this is for tomorrow, but there are things you can do personally with your setup. A lot of people, for instance, when they had their setup, they're playing video games. So I move quite a lot with my setup because I'm doing crafts and stuff, but if you're doing video games, you might not move so much, and so the stuff that you want to set up is a little different to me, because mine will be set up with the idea that I'll be moving a lot in mind, whereas yours will be set up with the fact that you likely will keep your face a lot more still, and also your left and right movements are likely to be a little bit more reduced. So it's stuff like that. Yeah, I found a lot of beads, but all too small for what I want to make. But it was a lot of stuff to make necklaces. Oh, almost like broken jewelry style. I do like buying broken jewelry. Very cool, sounds good. I'm at a conference for that. Oh, bless you. Yeah, this is the thing, it's like I do it live on Twitch because then I can talk through everything. And the fun thing is as well, we can use George's model. So I've actually finished rigging George's model. Now, George is live, they don't know. You'll find out before George. But I finished rigging their model. So I figured it'd be a fun one to set up with just because it's a little bit newer, but it doesn't have too much extra stuff, so I don't have to worry about making it too difficult, because obviously you can go very, very in depth. But yeah, I could also as well I guess reset up one of the default models, because that might also be it'd be a good example of like before and after, I suppose. Before and after, like, you've gone through all the parameters and how different you can make it. Yeah, because it isn't that difficult. It really isn't. It's just a little bit brave and a little bit of time. Excuse me, you found 2. Oh my god, I'm so jealous out of me. The jealousy is rising within me. Oh my god. I'm very tempted to buy it. I would have needed someone to hold me back. I would have been like, I'm taking it. I'll use it for something, I'm sure. He doesn't know he likes vital information. Poor George. Yeah, it's their model is rigged now. That's all done. On Sunday, we're starting, hopefully, the next commission, which is a very cute design. Listen, I'm obviously like... what do you call it, bias, but I think it's a very cool design. So we'll be doing the drawing for that on Sunday. Saturday, I probably won't be streaming because, again, it's basically, remember what happened last Saturday? So we have lots of people around on Saturday, again, like builders and stuff. I think it is predominantly just builders this time, maybe a plasterer, I'm not sure. But we have lots of people around, and so it's going to be really, really loud. So instead of streaming, I might just take that day off so that we don't have to deal with like what happened last Saturday, where midway through a sentence it'd be like from up like upstairs. Oh, as funny as it was, my throat hurt after that day because I was yelling so much. And then we can come back Sunday nice and strong. Oh, so that's kind of the plan for this week. Hey, we don't want all those bees on the stream. It's great because I can now, like, obviously go back and listen to the clips of it, because obviously when you're hearing it live, it's very different to how it's recorded, because my microphone does have some filters on it. I thought it would sound a lot worse because the drills for me were much louder than my voice, like to my ears. But obviously with the filters and stuff, they sound about the same level, so it's not quite as bad as I was worried that it would be, because it just turns out that my voice is about the same level as the drills. But in real life, I was like screaming over it. I was getting so out of breath because I was like, I gotta yell over all of the drills. But yeah, so this Saturday we're not going to stream. We're taking the decision not to. On the positive, I have nearly got the video for the month, like the month highlights up. So we've nearly got that. Oh, heck! Zay, welcome on in. Thank you for the horn. First horn that I've heard. Understandable. Yeah, you know how it is. But to be fair, like, it's one day. It's one day. Although that will mean that I took 3 days off this week. Crazy. Oh my god, 3 days? Whoa. It's been a minute. Oh dear. Also, a few of you have already seen, commissions are now live. They are at the proper prices. They will open and close depending on how busy I am at the time, because I don't really want to take more than a couple commissions at once, just because, you know, there's a wait. As soon as there's like a waiting list, you don't want to take too many, I feel like, because otherwise people are like, yeah, I can start making it in, like, you know, July. But yes, they are open. Prices are there, the sheets are there. I also have an online portfolio, which I'm still going to be adding to. Of course, I haven't even put George's model on there yet, but I'll be adding it to it just so people can see my previous work. But yes, we're getting there. It's all things ago. Has anything else happened? If you weren't here yesterday, we're back to our normal setup, like our normal setup. Like, oh, you don't want to see that? That's a secret. Well, you know what? You can see the very corner of it. We'll live. Who knows what that could be? we're back to our normal setup where we have the top-down view, which has been a really long time since we've had that. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I've just taken the ducks off for now because there was a reason. I've forgotten what it... Oh yeah, my duck pond glitched a little bit. You know what? It happens. But it spawned a lot more ducks very suddenly, and it was like making a bit of lag, so I will have to restart that pond so that we don't have all of those extra ducks. Yeah, I don't know what happened, to be honest, but there we are. I'm having to stop doing waiting lists because I can't deal with that. Yeah, long week-long queues only for me from now on. That's fair. That's fair. I think I would do probably about 3. Because 3 would be, how to put it, I don't know. Depends what I'm doing, because like obviously PNG tubers will take less long than a full body rig. So I guess it depends. But yeah, probably 3 to 5 depending on what I'm doing at once. Just so that, because I like to give people a proper idea of like what day I'm going to start it, when I'll send the invoice, all that kind of stuff, so that whoever has commissioned me gets all of the details they need. I do still have 1 commission left from the event on the 14th, which that's the one we're starting on Sunday. So yeah, I'd probably at this point take just a couple more, and yeah, it's good stuff. I'm happy that it's that open and we're starting stuff. Plus I see people. Oh yeah, actually that's a good point. Thank you, Anime. Yeah. If you haven't seen, I'm not going to be talking about it in depth on stream or doing any theorizing or anything like that. I think it's important that you read it and get your own conclusions from it. If you have not seen, in the general channel, the Discord, !Discord, there is an update to the TwitchCon situation, or the TwitchCon cosplay situation. I reached out when they opened the call for content in Paris, and I've got a response from them, and I've posted that response in the Discord. If you want to read it, it's there. It's !Discord. It's in the general. It's not going to be a big topic for discussion today because, again, like, it's very vague in a lot of areas, and I just don't think there's any reason to speculate at this stage. I'm hoping we get a more official update soon with a little bit more information. I do appreciate, honestly, that they did take the time to respond to me, especially because it's been a minute. I think sometimes it can be even harder to respond if you wait a while, so I do appreciate that they did get back to me. But yeah, give it a read if you haven't seen it and you are interested in TwitchCon cosplay contests. See what you think. Make your own decisions based on whether you want to plan for next year or if you want to do something else. Unfortunately, for a lot of people who have already started cosplays this year, there is a chance it'll be eligible for next year. One thing they do say is that they are going to be revamping it, which could mean anything. It could mean different rules. It could mean different guidelines as far as the costumes you can create. It could mean that the stage show is different. It literally could mean, that they're not doing a competition, that they'll be doing like a runway in the future. It really could mean anything. Again, that's why it's like I don't really want to spend the stream speculating, because like it literally could mean anything. It's incredibly vague. So have a little read, draw your own conclusions. If you are curious about TwitchCon's cosplay contest, I'd say if you're an American as well, maybe to go have a look as well, just because America also hasn't announced a cosplay contest yet and has very much not used any pictures of previous cosplay contests in any of their, like, you know, promotional stuff, which leads me to believe that Vegas is also not going to have a cosplay contest, if I had to guess at this stage. I hope that they do. I genuinely really hope that they do, but it at the moment is not looking particularly promising. So even if you're not a European cosplayer, although this does pertain more to Paris, I would still maybe have a little look at it. Yes, I think that's all I have to say on it particularly. Go have a little read, draw your own conclusions, make your own choices about whether TwitchCon cosplay is a good option for you in the future. And yes, for me, I am going to be aiming for the Crown Champions with this cosplay, and I'll be aiming for November 2024 is when I will need to enter. So I've got quite a lot of time, so which is good because this is taking a while. So yeah, that's my current plans. If TwitchCon opens up and I am legible, I might have a look at it. But for my main goal right now is crowns. Yes. Oh. Excuse me. Plenty of time. Exactly. Which is good because these things are taking like 20 hours each. I'm just gonna try and finish my costume. So excited to see if I can finish the shorts. Oh, you almost done the shorts? So I'm just like grabbing the stuff we're working on at the moment, which is this piece with this needle. There we go. Heck yeah! I'm so glad I decided not to go to Paris. It's TwitchCon Paris. It's become such a boring con. Not just the content is scrapped, but the schedule for sessions is extremely lacking. I will be really interested to see how this year goes. I am the same. I personally, to be honest though, it would have been quite an expensive holiday. So personally, I don't think I would have gone just based on it being in Paris. I would have loved to go to Vegas, but it's a very long way away. So yeah, and also with all the house renovations, that money for us is better spent on fixing up our house this year. So I am kind of glad that was our priority coming into the year, because it has left us in a good position now. I'm sure a lot of us have some concerns. I think one of the things that I'm a little sad about is there's no discount for partners or affiliates, because I feel like that was, I don't know, it was a really nice thing that they did, and I really like that those were reduced. So I would really like to see that maybe come back for next year. And then they are doing they are doing cosplay meetups in Paris. I didn't see anything about that in Vegas, so don't take my word for it. Oh my god, Heck!
Smile.
Hi. Echo, welcome on in. Thank you so much for hacking 10 months. Jesus. Welcome. We've just been talking a little bit about TwitchCon. So there is some cosplay stuff, and they are encouraging people to cosplay, unlike at Amsterdam, where you were kind of told not to cosplay. This time, they're actually saying, listen, no, we're ready. We're ready to do cosplay meetups. And I do like that that's a thing. I'm glad that they are encouraging cosplay a little bit more. It's just it's a big part of conventions and convention culture in general is cosplay. So I'm really glad that's been encouraged a little bit more. There does seem to be some kind of activities for cosplayers. Obviously, I am sad that there is no cosplay contest, but I'm glad that they haven't just forgotten cosplay as a thing. I will say once again that is specifically for Paris, because I know Vegas hasn't announced anything like that yet, but I don't think Paris did until the call for content was closed, so it could just be that will be announced later. I don't exactly know. Excuse me. Sorry. It's because I've eaten lunch. I'll be hiccupping now. But yeah, I'm hopeful for next year. And again, I think just honestly receiving some kind of response has made me feel a bit better about it, because I did feel very ignored before that, where it just was like they'd rather just not respond and pretend it never happened. Whereas this shows now that they do still care that it's a thing, they're just not ready for it this year. I wish we would have got that earlier, but there's also a chance that they had been working on it and just couldn't get it together in time. So there's a chance, there's a reason that they didn't let us know earlier. It's difficult without being behind the scenes, because you just don't know. I really hope that if they're not doing it in America, that they announce it, because I know that there's some American cosplayers who have been working hard for it, and obviously there's been some Europeans that are working hard for it this year, and they were left in the same boat, but I really hope they don't do the same thing to the American cosplayers as well. If they're not doing cosplay contests, maybe just, post that there's not a cosplay contest, and then people know. Obviously, it's not going to get maybe the best publicity, but I do think it would still be appreciative that people know it ahead. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of it. We'll just see how it goes. To be fair, I am quite hyped to go to, obviously not this year, but Birmingham MCM next year. They haven't announced anything for Las Vegas either. It isn't even on the schedule. Yeah, this is the thing. This is why I said I'm a bit worried about Vegas, because Vegas has its call for content out right now. And once again, but this is the thing as well. Not only is there no cosplay contest on the call for content, there is also not a single picture of cosplay. Like, they have included absolutely no photography from previous cosplay competitions, even though it's one of the biggest events that's held at TwitchCon. They've included none of it in any of the promotion, unlike with Paris where it was included. So yeah, that does give me a little bit of pause for concern, and I just would feel really bad for those cosplayers if they were left in the same boat as us. So I really hope that if they're not going to do it, they're going to say something, because yes, that's it. Like, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it, especially if you're planning to make a lot of changes. I understand. If you can't do it, you can't do it. But just let those cosplayers know, because there are some American cosplayers who I know are planning for that, and it'd just be nice to know ahead of time. Oh dear. And like, I'm sure that Twitch will get complaints about it. Like, I'm sure they will. Of course they will. There are people that really look forward to that every year. There'll probably be complaints. There'll probably be people saying like, oh, you should have got rid of this and done this instead, and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, at least you've communicated what your plans are. And I think that means a lot to a lot of people. It definitely meant a lot to me when I realized that someone had responded to my email. Just, you know, again, it took a while, but like, the fact that someone took the time to even, like, after all this time, respond, I appreciated that. Oh dear. And I'm sure a lot of people in my community appreciated it as well, because it's meant that I've been able to share the news with them. So it sounds like there won't be, yeah. We'll see. I'm gonna hold out hope. I'm gonna try and be optimistic about it, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Gotta let everyone know at some point, the longer they wait, the worse fall that will be. Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. Paris, they've never said publicly that there's not a cosplay contest. Obviously, I know there's not one because they've emailed me privately, and I asked for that. I asked back when the call for content opened. I sent them an email like, is there going to be a cosplay contest? What are your plans for next year? And I went and asked. If nobody asks for America, nobody might ever get a proper response, because there was never a public announcement for Paris saying that it had been cancelled or that it wasn't going to take place. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just pretend it didn't happen in America either, unless anybody asks. So there you go. If you're an American cosplayer and you want to know, there is an email that you should be able to ask questions to about the call for content. You can ask. You can ask. I'm not going to ask because I don't want them to get pissed off at me. I've already been bugging them with questions about Paris, so I don't want to, you know, annoy anyone and turn anyone against the Twitch cosplay community, so I'm not going to ask. But if you're an American cosplayer and you want to know, I highly recommend reaching out and asking, because the likelihood of them posting anything publicly is pretty small. So yeah, go ask. Oh dear. You gotta let everyone know at some point. Yeah, they communicate with you privately. Exactly. That's why, like, listen, if you want to know, you probably should ask, because, yeah, I mean, personally, I want to know as well, but I also don't want to be hated. Like, I have been bugging them for months. I don't want to be, like, absolutely hated by everyone on Twitch. So I would normally ask if I hadn't have been such a bother already. So, but listen, maybe you're not someone who's been a bother. Maybe you've been a good bead on Twitch and you just want to know. I think most crafters are maybe not as pushy as I am. Oh god. Yeah, I'm take a step back so that I don't royally piss anybody off. Oh dear. But yeah, I'm trying to spread it as much as possible. I will say I've also spread the news on some Discord servers specifically to do with cosplay and crafting or competitive cosplay. So obviously it's on our Discord server, but I have spread it to other communities where there are bigger cosplayers and stuff like that who can spread it more if they want to, because I'm very aware that my reach is pretty small, even within the cosplay community, and I don't want to hoard that kind of information, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather everybody know so that people aren't prepping in advance. So I've done what I could. I posted it where I can, and yeah, fingers crossed the message gets sent around to everyone that would need to hear it. If they didn't give an invitation to apply, they're entitled to. That would be extremely unprofessional. Yeah, I know, but there's also a part of me that's like, yeah, I've done enough. I've bothered enough people. Plus, they know I'm not going to be entering I'm not allowed to enter American TwitchCon. So, like, they know I'm not going to be entering it. Oh, dear. So, I should have, in hindsight, probably included that in my initial questioning, but I kind of prioritized Paris because obviously that was when the call for content for Paris had opened, and I also prioritized the next year for Europe because that's the one that I thought I'd be entering. Oh shoot, it didn't work! Wait a second. Oh, I know why. 2 secs. It did say it needed to do an update. Yeah, I'll let it do its update. If it doesn't work, if I can't make it work, then I'll just turn them off and I'll refund you the points. Sorry, Queena. Oh dear. That's my bad. I did see that it had an update and I was just like, I'll do that later. And then later happened and I didn't do it. You took your anti-radiation medicine. Yes. Oh dear. That is what I did. Heck yeah. Oh dear. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Let me try. Let me try. Come on. Come on. You got this. I believe. I believe in you, program. Oh dear. Ugh. Scoop that over there, get a couple more. But yeah, I should say as well, if you haven't gone and read it in the Discord, they were very polite in their response, like they weren't rude or anything like that. Okay. Does work? Does work? I'll see if I can do it myself. There you go, it does. The chemicals. Clearly not enough of my medication, that's why. Oh dear. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm kind of stoked about going to Birmingham. I've never been to Birmingham MCM, I've only ever been to London, so you know, as much as it wasn't maybe my first choice for a competition to enter, I'm quite excited about the convention. MCMs have been getting really good, so heck yeah, they're expensive, but they're good. Also, Scott, thank you so much for the X-Smash! Welcome on in! Oh dear, so yeah, and also next year I want to go to Cos Expo. I don't know that I'll compete at Cos Expo, I kind of just want to go for fun. Oh my god, Scott! Heck, oh, Jesus Christ, Scott, it's been over a year already, what the heck? Thank you so much, it's very heckin' kind of you. I didn't realize it'd been that long. Jeez, heckin' time flying by. My god. Oh dear. Yeah, we got plenty of time for the costume. I think I would like to go to Cos Expo next year, but I'd like to go like for fun, for socially. I don't know if I go for the whole weekend either, because like we could maybe just drive down. It's a bit of a long drive, but I feel like if by that point we might have a car, so it'd be a bit more possible. Oh dear. Steve L! Oh, bless you. Welcome on in, Steve L. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good week. Steve L, I spent my morning petting dogs. Little dogs. They were all pretty young dogs. I think like less than a couple years old. Baby. Well, they're not that big though. They're big, much bigger than I remember them being. They're big dogs now, but they still act like puppy. So so cute. They were so cute. It was so fun. We had such a nice morning. Oh dear. One day we'll have a dog, but those aren't cats. It's true, they're not cats. But they were very sweet beans. See, I like cats and dogs. I would pet a cat and a dog. But no, today was dogs. It was Dogs Day. And I pet all of the dogs. And I got lots of kisses from dogs. a lot of them like to lick your hand as you were petting. So it'll be like, oh, thank you. Thanks. I'm just trying to pet you. Thanks. The cats are superior? I don't think any animal is superior to another animal. I think all animals are good. Obviously people have their favorites and the ones that suit their lifestyle the best, but I think all animals are good. And I would happily pet most animals. I think, what would I not like to pet? Anything wild, because I feel like that's not respecting nature. Anything wild I probably wouldn't pet. Do you pet snakes? I like snakes, but like, do you pet snakes? What do you do with a snake? Oh dear. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe. I've never owned a snake. I've helped my friends feed their snakes, but I don't feel like I've ever... I don't remember ever petting a snake. I would if they asked for it, with their eyes, their big old eyes. I'd be like, you know what, if you want a pet Mr. or Mrs. Snake, I will do so. What other animals would I maybe... I will say I'm a bit hesitant on horses, actually. I wouldn't say I have like a phobia of horses or anything like that, but they can get pretty powerful, so I think that would be one I'd be a little hesitant of. Would just be like, not that I dislike horses in particular, it's just I think I'd be a little hesitant to pet without like knowing that the horse would enjoy it. I've brushed a lot of horses. I'd probably brush them before petting them, actually. Thinking about it, maybe that's why it's bothering me, is because like I'm like, a horse, I'll brush a horse. I probably wouldn't pet the horse. I would just brush them. Maybe that's why that feels weird to me. Ah, dear. Oh dear. Horses are good beasts, but they are giant toddlers with the strength of 5 people. I think that's what it is. It's like, I'm not afraid of horses or anything, but like there is a healthy respect for animals that are that big. And also I'm more used to brushing them with like the little coarse brushes. Oh dear. My dog hates horses. If she sees one, she starts barking like crazy. I mean, they're very big. They're very big. Don't let them step. Oh yeah, don't let them step on your toes. Ideally, don't let them step on you at all. I've been a little bit kicked. So I've been dragged behind a horse and I got booted. I'm honestly lucky that I've hit my head so many times, guys. I'm genuinely, like, when I look back at how many head injuries I've had, I'm like, Jesus Christ, Jelly, how have you survived all of this? But yeah, I got dragged behind a horse. It booted a couple of my teeth out. But thankfully they were baby teeth. It's because I was wearing the wrong type of shoes, to be fair, so it was kind of my fault. So like with normal riding shoes, they're meant to slip out of the stirrup relatively easily, but I was wearing my Wellington boots. So they didn't slip out of the stirrup easily, so that when the horse went like galloping away, I got dragged behind it. I got dragged into poop. I got dragged into poop in the stable, and I got kicked, and I got a pretty heavy hit on the ground as well, to be fair. But yeah, that can be very dangerous. I was very lucky, to be honest, because that's where it gets bad. Let people have their fetish. You can get stepped on, just maybe not by a horse. I feel like that's just a bad rule. Listen, if your fetish is endangering yourself, I have to step in. Look after yourself. Ah, dear. If you're in doubt of when to pet a horse, give a firm scritch to the top of their shoulder. It's where they are true. And they get the nice little whip. Yeah, the little like brrr, brrr, brrr. Oh dear. Yeah, like I used to help one of my friends with the stables, and then also because I grew up around, like, I didn't ride horses that often, but like I had siblings who did, so like I would often be around them, and like you do kind of just develop a healthy respect for them. What I will say, the stable that like my sister would go to go learn, the person who owned the stable was paralyzed from the neck down. After an incident where she broke her back from riding a horse. So like she fell off the horse and broke her back and became paralyzed from the neck down, but decided that she wanted to keep running the stables, so she obviously just, you know, hired some extra help once she'd recovered and kept running it. And she used herself as a good example a lot of like why you have to be careful, why you do certain safety procedures and stuff like that, and what happens when you're not careful. Because she still loved horses. Like obviously she's still very, very passionate about like horses and looking after them, and that people respect them. And I think that's where that respect comes from, is like having chatted with her a lot, like, because, you know, I didn't ride horses as much, so I just talk with people, and yeah, it's like you learn a healthy respect. But I think also being around someone who had been so like badly injured by a horse, or a horse incident, I suppose, but that still loved them dearly, also kind of stops you becoming afraid of them. It's like a really weird, like, you respect them. You can see in front of your eyes the damage that can happen if you don't respect them, or if you're doing something that's like not super safe. But at the same time, like, she still loved them so much, and that's kind of, I feel like, kind of contagious. When someone loves animals that much, you get passionate for them too, just by hanging around them. Yeah, personally, I wouldn't own a horse. Very expensive, and you need a little space, you need stables, and that's not my lifestyle. But I can respect people who do like horses. It's a lot of work, a lot of effort, but they can be really sweet beans. Ah, dear. I wouldn't go pet a horse face unless you know them well and they like it a lot. A lot of horses are pretty wary of hands in the face, which is fair. Some of them want you to kiss their noses when they go to sleep. Ah, that's very cute. Oh dear. I like as well, there were always some Shetland ponies. Shetland ponies are the really short ones. For people that were a bit younger learning to ride horses, they'd like ride on the Shetland ponies. They're so cute. It's so cute. They're so small. Oh my god. They're like sturdy little horses as well. They're so cute. Oh my god. I love Shetlands. I remember one year somebody called up the what did you call it, like the forest people, the foresters. They were worried because they thought some horses had got trapped in like the mud, And it just turned out they were Shetland ponies. And they just weren't moving. They were just everyone turned up and they were like, that's just a Shetland pony. That's not a horse stuck in the mud. But they do kind of look like horses stuck in the mud because their legs are so short. Oh dear. I started working a couple of days a week at a stable yard now, so you get paid to ride. Aww. Heck yeah. I know there's a lot of teenagers would do that when I was younger. They'd if they did riding lessons and stuff, they would get like a part-time job at the stables. Not for me personally, but I do think it was cool. And I helped out a couple times, but yeah, just with friends. I didn't get paid. You have 2 miniature Shetlands. There's a Fudge and Fudge and Annie. They're like dog shaped like a horse. Yeah. Oh dear. They're very funny. They're very funny, but they're very sweet. Oh dear. Very patient horses. Oh dear. Yeah, I think I only fell off really badly once, to be fair. And that was okay. And that was my own fault. Again, like, I was wearing the wrong footwear. That's why I would have fallen off regardless, probably. But I would have just fallen off rather than, like, you know, being dragged behind it. Because that's being dragged behind a horse is like the really dangerous bit, because obviously you're right next to their feet and they have very strong legs. So you can just get booted and booted and booted, and that tends to be where a lot of accidents happen. So as long as you can slip out of the stirrups and everything, you're fine. Fine. Even if you fall off, you'll be fine. Like, it's gonna hurt because you fell, but you'll be all right. You might fall in poo. That'd be like the worst. Ah, dear. An occasion, well, like, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I've fallen off a ton of times, but thank God I've never been dragged. I've only been dragged once. And it wasn't for a super, super long time, thankfully, because there were other people around, so someone could stop the horse. But it was obviously long enough. I didn't lose the teeth immediately, like they didn't fall out right then and there. They fell out like the next day as well. It was like a delayed, like, oh, there they go. But again, they were baby teeth, so it was okay. And I was like a bit bruised up and I banged my head and stuff. But I was all right. I was a child. You lost teeth? The next day I did, yeah. It was like, I think I lost one the next day and then the other the day after. Well, because I got dragged by the horse. I had pretty bad bruises. I had a nice lump on the back of my head. I lost a couple teeth, but I was okay. This is what I say when I'm like, you know, I was kind of lucky, to be honest. Because, like, it could have gone so much worse. So when I fell off to the side, and the horse must have been running, so like I wasn't too close to the legs, even though I was being dragged behind, if that makes sense. So I would have probably lost them if I had to guess. It was all like a bit of a blur, to be honest. But if I had to guess, it would have been from initially falling on my face, rather than the dragging bit. But it could have been that. I don't know. It's difficult to say. As the person who was being dragged, I was very confused about what was going on in the moment. It's just like, whoa, what's happening? Because everything's just kind of a blur of like hay and poo and mud and stuff. Oh dear. Yeah, only the one time. And I was very lucky. I was very, very lucky. Like I said, I'm very lucky. I've had so many injuries to my... Maybe this is why I have chronic migraines. You know, not the other day, this was like a year or so ago. I was having like one of my regular checkups at the doctor, and they were like, so Jelly, have you ever had any head injuries? And I looked them dead in the eyes and I said, no. I was like, no, I've never had any head injuries. Meanwhile, I've cracked open the front of my head, I've broken my orbital, I've been dragged behind a horse, I've been smacked off the ship with the bat. I've had so many head injuries. I've been concussed so many times. And I looked them dead in the eye and I was like, no, I've never had a head injury. Me? And then I had to go back and correct myself. I was like, so remember when I told the doctor that I hadn't had any? That was a lie. No, I have had injuries. The thing is, if they'd looked at my notes, they must have thought I'd gone insane. You're like, do these not count as head injuries, Jelly? Oh dear. But you know, I've all things considered been very, very lucky, because as much as I'm having like a bit of a chuckle right now, obviously head injuries are quite serious. Even if you get them when you're young, you have to be really careful because they can cause a lot of other problems. I mean, there is a chance that I have chronic migraines because of all of the head injuries. It's not an impossible chance that could be the reason. It's just all of my family have migraines, so in my case it's probably more likely that it's hereditary, but there's a chance. I've hit my head a lot. Head injuries? Don't know her. In fact, forgotten her. Probably because of one of the many multiple head injuries. I've just forgotten, sorry. I've hit my head enough times that I've forgotten that I've hit my head at all. Jelly is one of those pages of the doctor show where they reveal a vital bit of information right at the end. Yeah. I looked them dead in the eyes. I was like, no, never had a head injury, me. And then I got back and Shiny was like, what do you mean you told them you didn't have any head injuries? And I was like, what? I haven't. And they were like, You've had so many concussions, Jelly. You've had your head split open. You've broken your orbital. These all count as head injuries. Oh my god. Yeah, when you just forget, I just forgot. I think because what my thought was like, maybe they're asking if I've had any recently, and like, I don't think that I've had any recently, although that was also a lie, but like, I think that was where my mind went to, but no, they were just asking if I'd had a history of head injuries, and it's like, wait a second. I've had like 5 black eyes, I've cracked my orbital, I've cracked down the center of my head, I've been smacked with the boom of a ship. That was pretty bad. I've had several concussions on the kitchen floor from fainting backwards. I fell off the horse and I got dragged behind it. That was pretty bad. Lost a couple teeth after that. Are there any others, actually? Oh, I mean, if you want to go with, like, head-specific injuries, I've done some damage to my eyes a couple times. But I don't feel like that's probably what they're asking. I think they're probably talking more about, like, the skull. Well, I mean, I didn't talk about that. Shoot, maybe I should call them again. You're like, oh, by the way, when I told you my list of head injuries, psych, I actually didn't tell you all of them. But yeah, this is why, like, if you're doing rugby or stuff like that, they, like, count how many concussions you have, because obviously it is really, really bad. It's bad to have even one, but, like, to get them multiple times is very dangerous. It can affect your chances of having, like, problems later in life, so you want to be a little careful with your head. I'm very lucky, I say I'm very lucky so far. I have migraines nearly every single day, so you know what, if that is due to head injuries, maybe I didn't get off so lucky. But there, you can have very, very big problems, even early in life, if you have a lot of concussions, so it's best to look after your head. It's kind of important, it has your brain in it and stuff. I got concussed bad enough with minor amnesia once, it was pretty scary. I've been knocked out, and when I woke up, there was so much blood in my eyes that I couldn't see. And that was terrifying, because I didn't remember what happened. There was blood in my eyes, so I thought I'd gone blind. Because, when you have enough of that kind of, it just cuts off your vision completely. There was also somebody, like, vomiting in the background, which was, I couldn't see. I could hear. So it was something, because it was like a very messy injury and I was still in school. So it probably looked pretty horrific. I couldn't see it. I never did see it when it was bad. So I only have other people's accounts of what it looked like, and obviously like what the wound and the scar looked like. I did see that, but yeah, I didn't see it when it was really bad. I didn't see it at all. I was like fully blind. It's terrifying. But I've never had like how to put it? Like I forget the point like of impact, but I didn't forget like everything. Just like the part where I hit my head. I'll be honest as well, I got a really good body for going straight into shock. I go into shock so easily, guys. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but like whenever I get even small injuries, I go into shock like instantly. It's almost impressive how easily my body's like, and we're in shock. Yeah, like even I don't know if I've talked about this on stream. Should I mention it? Yeah, I think I have mentioned it, right? So I started a new medication trial last month, right? And it's injections, and you have to do them to yourself. And I was really, really spooked about it. I knew it was gonna hurt. I was ready for it to hurt. But I'll be honest, I wasn't ready for how much it ended up hurting. And I went into shock from an injection. And it's like, and then I fainted like when I got up because I was like, adrenaline like, boom, 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 boom. It was so embarrassing. Like, that's too easily. Like, yes, it did hurt, and yes, it was horrible having to do it to yourself. However, that's not enough to make, like, it shouldn't be. Oh my god, Retro, welcome on in. How was your stream? It didn't kick in until later, so I got up and everyone thought, oh, then I was like, where am I? Couldn't. Oh, see, that's very scary. That would be terrifying. Retro, welcome on in. How is Dredge? I hope that it's going well. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about I don't know, head injuries? Maybe? Oh dear. Use my body as a cautionary tale. Try very hard not to hit your head. It's not good. It's not a good idea. Your head is quite important. Just a little bit. I spent all day petting, all morning petting dogs though, which was really, really good. Every time I remember what my morning was, I'm just like, that was amazing. That was just such a good morning. Oh my god, I had such a good time. We caught some jellyfish. Oh, bless you. Oh, it's lovely to see you. Again, if anyone's looking for a chill place to hang out. Retro, you must have been going at... Wait. You probably stream around the same time as me, right? So, like, for instance, tomorrow when I'm not going to be streaming, if you're looking for another meme to go check out instead, there we go. If you do need to look after yourself after stream though, if you need to like, you know, get some snacks or anything like that, please do. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to stay here. If you're coming in with Retro Girls, hello, hi, my name is Jelly. I am currently using a slime VTuber model, so I'm a slimy lady. I make cosplays on the internet. We also do VTubers these days, so I also do both VTuber and PNG tuber commissions. So you might see some people with a similar art style floating around because, yeah. I've got a few children on Twitch now. Oh dear. It's been an interesting year. I didn't come onto Twitch thinking that I would be creating a VTuber army, but there we are. Here I am, a VTuber army. Looks cool, thank you. Let me actually, I'm sorry, I know, Queenie, you spent good channel points on this, but let me just go back to normal color really quickly. So that Retro could see what it normally looks like. Normally I'm this color, but we have some channel point redeems where you can change the color. Because I'm a slime, right? So it makes sense that you could change the color of my slime to be different colors. Oh dear. First, have you seen it? Yeah! We've been using a VTuber recently because I've been having some skin issues and I just, you know, it's just play it safe and not have that on Twitch. And also, like, I wouldn't necessarily want to come on Twitch with how bad they were at points. It's like, it just makes people worry. Ghostly! Yeah, wait, let me show you my leggies. I got cute leggies down here. Look at them. Look at my floppy little legs. I'm fully made of slime. Slime lady. Just cut my head off a little bit though, so I will just look down there again. There we go. A more appropriate height for streaming. Yee! Jelly! Yeah! I'm a jelly lady. But, you know, sometimes I'm made of piss, sometimes I'm made of blood, sometimes I'm made of radioactive sludge. Kind of depends. Depends how people are feeling. Sometimes I'm made of gay. Oh dear. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm really enjoying it as well. It's also a nice way of showing your face without having to worry about, you know, you're having any skin problems or anything like that. It's been good. And we've been working on a new costume, so we're doing a reimagining of the collector from Owl House. We're doing them as if they're from the 16th century, which is when the collector is actually first introduced to the series anyway. So we are doing like a very much a more old-fashioned version, but with a lot of color and a lot of celestial kind of theming and stuff so that it fits with the collector in Owl House. And at the moment we're making the smocking pieces that will end up going on the shoulders. So we're adding all of the iridescent sequins that go between the larger pieces of smocking. So it's like nice and glowy in the light. Heck yeah. We have two colors as well. Wait, let me just switch over to the other one. We have this one. So we have it's the same sequins in both. They show up a lot on the dark one and I absolutely love it. But yes, we have the light coloured shoulder and the dark coloured shoulder. We have a lot to make. These take like 20 hours plus each to make. So very slow work. But it's very relaxing work. Like you don't have to think about it too hard. It's pretty good. I think Owlswell's a fan of Owl House. Wouldn't be surprised. That sounds like an owlish name. It is fun. If you like the idea of gay witches, if that appeals to you, you'll probably like it. Also, it's just generally like a really, really good show, but the way that I've been selling it to my friends, at least, is like gay witches. You'll like it. You'll like it. It actually got banned, or not banned, it got cancelled on Disney for being too LGBTQA plus positive. Because halfway through its broadcast, Disney started broadcasting in some countries where it is illegal to be gay. And so because of that, they had to cancel the show. So it's a cool one to support. I don't know. Because the creators obviously cared a lot, and the characters are really fun, and it is just a really fun show in general. Like, the colors are beautiful, the world building is fantastic, the characters are pretty lovable as well. Like, there's one or two kind of that I'm still, like, Hootie still kind of gets me, but otherwise it's really fun. You've not seen Smocking for a while. Yeah, I feel like I also haven't seen Smocking for a minute. And then people were making, I don't remember if it was Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, but like costumes like that. And then I saw people doing more Smocking, and then that's when I wanted to get into it. But not for those costumes in particular, because I'll be honest, I don't really watch the shows. But, you know, just for having seen the way their costumes did it, I thought it looked really, really cool. You can see the amount of work on the background of this. So much. It's not a show I can watch because I already have ADHD and I can't manage. No, that's fair. That is fair. I've heard it's excellent. It is. It's a wonderful show. A very, very chill. Obviously, the story does get quite intense, especially in the third season, because it's just it is only story. But I don't know. It's just a really nice show. It's just a really nice show, and it made me smile a lot, and I liked it, and I miss it because it's gone now. And there's no more Owl House, but it's so good. It's like it's there with other shows. I can't watch like Gravity Falls and Starverse, The Force of Evil. Yeah, so Gravity Falls in particular. A lot of people started watching Owl House because of Gravity Falls, because there's a lot of the same crew working on Owl House that they were working on Gravity Falls. You'll hear a lot of the same voices, a lot of the same directors and stuff like that. So there's a lot of crossover between the humor in one to the other because there's a lot of the same team. But it's been a good way of selling the show, because it's like, if you enjoyed Gravity Falls when that aired, the likelihood is you will like the Owl House, because it is the same team that worked on it, basically, with a different lead. You know, it's good. It's good. Oh, dear. You'll be lurking. Oh, yeah, you're making sushi too? Yes! Heck yeah, good luck. Oh, yeah, for your party, right? Good luck. I hope that it goes well. All the fantastic shows, but my brain cannot. Yeah, that's fair. Listen, you watch what your brain enjoys. I watch like 2 television shows a year, if that. I'm really glad that one of them was Owl House, because I do not watch very many, but Owl House was it for me. I probably will rewatch it at some point just so I can get some more references as well, and I know that I'll get emotional all over again. But just for more references for the costume and stuff. Excuse me. But yeah, it was good. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. You know, I probably should hydrate. I hydrated a few times at the beginning of stream, like I remembered, but then I just left my brain. It forgot. Oh dear. Oh, I will say, okay, one thing, since using a VTuber model, my posture has been like 10 out of 10. I've actually been considering removing the posture check, because normally, like, when I'm streaming, you know, I like curl up like a shrimp, but like, because I want the camera to capture my face well, I'm sitting a lot straighter than I used to. So every time someone does a posture check, it's like, well, surprisingly, I'm actually already sitting really well. You should probably watch it soon. Heck, I mean, if you're looking for a chill time shifty, it's a good time. Dear. It's a good time with good jokes, and kind of like it's weird horror-ish vibe at times, but like not like a full horror, just like a, oh good god, like it's a kids show, but also, it's interesting. Yeah, jellyfish must get liquid. True. I need to stay hydrated. That's true. I am still not remembering to stay hydrated, but I'm pretty well remembering to sit, not like a shrimp. Not so much when I'm on the computer though, actually, that's a good point. If I'm doing like VTuber rigging, I do very quickly just end up getting like closer and closer. Oh my god, yeah, you can even see my nose. And closer until you can see my nose. But the sewing I do pretty well at. I'm pretty good, pretty disciplined these days, you'd be surprised. Mainly just because I want the camera to capture me as well as possible, because it's already hard for it to capture when I'm doing crafts because I'm looking down so often. So, yeah. And also because I keep putting my fabric in front of my camera, that's not great. It's a learning curve, but I am enjoying this learning curve. It's good. Oh dear. There we are. And wiggle that in there. Okay, we've only got one more to fill, and then we can do the embroideries up, which I didn't think we'd get to today. I was only going to do a very short stream today, to be honest, but I don't feel quite so tired as when I started. That's the thing, is like when I started stream this morning, this afternoon even, I was already quite tired because I spent the morning, you know, playing with dogs. Which recharged my mental battery, but not my physical battery. My physical battery's still low. Mentally, though, I'm like, I petted dogs. They had cute fur. They were so cute. One of them had a little, like, jackety type. Oh, so cute. I've pet so many dogs. It's a good day. But, yeah, physically, I'm a little bit sleepy. But actually, since starting streaming, I feel a little bit more awake. So that's good. I would say the horns have helped, probably. Conversations about animals that we'd like to pet. I still don't know how you pet a snake. We've not had an answer of how you're meant to like pet a snake. What do snakes like? I don't know. Like scritches? Do they like pets? Who knows? Who knows? Probably someone with a snake knows. Gently? Yeah. Oh, it depends on the size of the snake though, right? Baby! All the love. Oh, you're fine. Take care. Thank you for popping by. Have a good luck. I hope you get some good Z's at some point as well. I'm feeling more energized than earlier, but I'm kind of in the same boat. Low energy day. Yeah. Doo-ba-doo. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Probably just like being tucked in a warm... Oh, true! Yeah. Somewhere just nice and warm, because, yeah, they'd soak in all the heat, wouldn't they? That's a very good point, actually. Yeah, the thing is, I've held a lot of snakes, but I'll be honest, I've held both ends of the spectrum of snakes. I've done like the really big ones that you sometimes can just go out and hold, I suppose, and like baby snakes, which have no chill and they just bite everything that comes near them. So I've held both ends of the spectrum with snakes because of helping my friends feed their snakes and all that kind of stuff. And the small ones move quite a lot. They do still settle eventually, but like they're very mobile. And the big one just sits on you and is heavy, really heavy. Jesus Christ, those big snakes are hefty. It always surprises me just how heavy they are. like I guess it makes sense. They are basically one very long muscle, but like, God, those big snakes are so heavy. You should check out Casey Jenny. She's a fellow artist and has a pet snake. True, I need to ask them. How do you pet your snake? Does your snake like pets? Does it like to just be left alone? What do you do? How do you make the snake happy? What do you do to make snake smile? I need to know. Not because I'm ever planning on getting a snake. I'm just, you know, if I ever come across a snake, I would like, but it's not a wild snake. I don't want to upset it. I want it to be a happy snake. Oh dear. I will say I'm a very hot and cold lady. I have a very, very cold face normally, but I have pretty warm hands a lot of the time. So if they like warm things, I have pretty warm hands. So they'd like my hands maybe. They just wouldn't want to go too far up to my neck or face because then it gets a lot colder. Oh, I always have like a freezing cold nose. There are times where it's worse than others, but like my nose, like often it doesn't feel cold to me, I should say. It's just like to the touch it feels very, very cold. I don't know why that's the area that my body's decided to have bad circulation, but specifically my nose. It's bad circulation. Heckin' chonkers, they're heckin' chonky. But they're very cute. I love big snakes. Oh, dude, they're so heavy, but God, they're so cute. I love their faces. We've been watching just for like silly laughs in the evening sometimes. This show on Netflix that's like the world's dangerous animals and stuff like that. I think we're specifically watching the Asian one where it's like Asia's most dangerous animals. And I'm still very salty about the first episode, to be quite honest, because in the first episode they bring out like 7 animals and they explain why they are like good predators or like why they can be dangerous and stuff like that. And like they talked about the leopards and they were like how the leopards are like, and the space leopards live is so close to cities, so they often end up in these cities like full of people and stuff, and so it's not an ideal situation, and there have been deaths and there's a lot of injuries every year and stuff, and it's like, okay, I see that. That does seem like quite, you know, I wouldn't, how to put it, I don't necessarily like the term dangerous in many ways, but I can see how that could be dangerous. Understood. And then there was a snake who had the highest, like death rate of any snake in the world, like kills like 5,000 a year, has so many different variants of the same snake from area to area that they don't always have the correct anti-venom, so even if you get to a doctor's you can still die because they might not have the correct anti-venom for that one snake. And it's like, and it didn't win the most deadly, and I was like it was first, also it was a very cute snake. Like, obviously respect the animals, like they don't want to be near humans for a reason, but like it had really like big eyes and it was really cute. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a very cute snake. But anyway, that aside, like I felt like it got stolen. Like they had it snatched from them. They should have won. Why? Like the leopard, like yeah, sure, like it causes injuries. A couple die every year. Like, you know, it's not ideal. But 5,000 a year, like. How did that not win? Oh, I've been salty about it ever since. I'm like, you gave it to the leopard because the leopard's bigger, but that snake deserved that win. How could you? Just go bask in the sun with them. Honestly, actually, that could be it. Just like on a sunny day, just. Also, Haplin, welcome on in. Thank you for the generous piss donation. I appreciate it. How are you doing? We are actually nearly finished. I got a lot of string on this, but I actually probably didn't need to. We just need to get a few more sequins on this one, and the top one, and then it's sequined the whole way up, and then we just have to go back with the embroidery, and then this one is done, and then that means we're halfway through the really big ones, which means we're actually about 70-ish hours in, probably. It's pretty good. Not bad. I haven't been this mad since you backshot added the common wasp to the deck. Really? Is that because of allergies? I'd have to assume that that's because... I'd have to assume it's because of allergies. Obviously, like, wasp stings hurt. Like, they don't feel good. And if you, like, stumbled into a wasp's nest, maybe you'd be in trouble. But, like, surely normally they're only dangerous to people with allergies, right? Which obviously is not great, but by that same logic, shouldn't peanuts be on the list of the most top 60 deadly? Oh dear. Like, I'm not saying that allergies aren't scary, but I just don't feel like that's how you... That's like the best way of doing it. I remember finding a wasp nest in an attic and being like, yeah, if they swarmed you, they'd be dangerous, so that's why they're in... As someone who had wasps in their attic like every other year growing up, the nest itself is actually not super dangerous. They are wrong. Because like the worker wasps don't sting you. It's the ones that go out of your house that will sting you, right? The ones that were ending up, I never got stung by those wasps, never. And we had them in our, like next to my bedroom window. So I'd have like 10, 20 wasps in my room, like every day. And I never got stung. Because they're just trying to get back into the nest. They just lost. Isn't it the ones that like go out and about that tend to sting you, not the ones in the nest? Like, sure, if you stepped on a nest, you'd probably get stung, but like, a wasp with a oh my god, a wasp with a peanut. That is, whoa. Maybe even some shellfish in there, like a wasp with a peanut and shellfish soup or something. Oh my god, terrifying. That's the real enemy right there. No, it's an object. It's the wasp. True, Zay, very true. We're back for a bit. Rice is being cooked. Ooh, exciting. Do you know what you're gonna fill them with, anime? Yesterday I did omelette and today I did fish sticks. It was good. I think the omelette needs a bit of practice. I also need to cool it in advance because I had like hot omelette in the inside of my sushi, which was like, it wasn't awful, but like I felt like the temperatures were a bit weird. So next time I'll cool it. But the fish sticks were nice. I enjoyed that. Oh dear. I once used flower box as a mounting block and was unaware to take the boss nest through. My horse got chased down the lane by irate wasps. Oh no. Crab, shrimp, and cucumber. Oh my god, so much! Heck yeah! I just had tofu cactus curry. Oh, katsu curry. And in night, oh, I love rice. I love rice too. I also love rice. Rice is very good. Sorry, just thinking about rice makes me squeak. My bad. But wasabi, as you see, yeah, I was thinking that we don't have any wasabi. It didn't come with the kit, and I didn't think to buy any separately, but I would like to get some wasabi, I think, soon. Thank you for the hick. Yeah, I just all that thought of the snacks and wasps also. It's actually probably the wasps from the sound of it. The wasps are making me squeak. Oh dear. Oh no, the hick cooldown. You cannot put it in. Oh dear, I'm so sorry, Izzy. I'm so sorry. I always say I'm gonna remove the cooldown and then I never do. Oh, that's my bad. That's my bad. The number will never be correct. There we go. Oh boy, no cooldowns for Jelly is squeaking. I know. The hick numbers are all wrong. They're very incorrect now. They'll never be correct again. Oh dear. Yeah. I don't feel don't get me wrong, obviously wasps can be dangerous. If you have an allergy as well, obviously they add a lot more danger. But I don't feel like very often you will stumble into a wasp's nest. They tend to be like a little out of the way. Like, you know, obviously in lofts and roofs, they're relatively common. Sometimes on the sides of buildings and trees. But like, it's not something you'd often stumble into. If they sting you, they can be lethal. But is it mainly to people with allergies, right? Because like, I just don't feel like I've been stung by a wasp a couple times, and like, don't get me wrong, yes, it hurts. It's very, very unpleasant, but like, I don't feel like I've ever thought my life was in danger. I guess maybe it depends on how many times you get stung. But yeah, I've been all right. I feel like if I had to say, horses are more dangerous than a wasp. But maybe that's just me and my experience. I've had more injuries from horses than wasps. I feel like sewing machine is more dangerous. Can the sewing machine be in the top 60? I know that Shifty said this was an older show, but can I put sewing machine in the top 60 and they get to put wasps? I get to put sewing machine. Yeah, it doesn't happen often since numbers that could sting someone. You'd really need to piss them off for that to happen, yeah. Just imagine the horses on Deadly 60. Sewing machines aren't real. Oh, okay. I'd pay money to see the episode where there's like wasps, a horse, and a sewing machine. Which would win? What is the most deadly between a wasp, a horse, and a sewing machine? Oh dear. If they aren't real, they can't hurt. Oh shoot, damn, you're right. Okay, well I guess sewing machine's gonna come in last then, since they're not real, they can't hurt you. Oh shoot, I didn't think of that. Oh dear. I was trying to think what with, like, at least from the UK, is there a lot that stays? I guess we have adders, but like, you can get, although actually, oh excuse me, sorry. You can get anti-venom for adders relatively easily, and well, I know in Wales it's a little bit more difficult, but then I also think you have less adders. But because I remember hearing a story about a poor doggy that had to wait days for the anti-venom. It was very sad. Honestly, if it happened for a human, I would have been sad, but the fact that it happened to a dog, I'm like, no. None of the vets have the anti-venom, whereas like where I grew up, every vet had it because like there were a lot more adders. But yeah, I was gonna say, in fairness, I don't think you really, you technically have them as like a species that happens here, but like it's not very common. Yeah. Oh dear, whereas like I've seen them. Whoa! Skies! Welcome on in! Little guy that lives in a blue world, and all day and all night, and everything he sees is just blue, like him. Inside and outside, blue his house with a blue little window and a blue Corvette, and everything is blue for him and himself and everybody around, 'cause he ain't got nobody to listen to. Yeah, I'm blue, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die. I'm blue, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die, dabba-dee dabba-die. Yeah, Thank you so much for the blue. Welcome on in, Sky. I hope you're having a good day. We actually just finished putting the sequins on, so we're about to move over to some embroidery, but like, look at that. A nice sparkly bean. Heck yeah. We have adders in theory, but I don't think I've ever seen one. I also think ours are non-venomous. Oh, okay. So I've seen adders a few times. We used to get them outside of our house sometimes, but again, you have to bear in mind, I grew up in a forest. So like, you know, them being outside the house is not that unusual because they live in the forest. And also, if you're like walking your dog, it was never our dog, but I often went with my friends when they walked their dogs. If you walk them near the heather bushes, specifically like a lot of heather, they're often there, and because like they'd find like a rock and you'd see them in the middle of like the heather bush on a rock just sunbathing. So like, as long as your dog didn't run up to them or anything, there was no problem because they're not looking to come at you. They just don't want you to come to them either. So, you know, as long as you give them some space, they were fine. I've never been threatened by an adder at all, like, but I've seen them quite a few times. Yeah, mainly with adders, it's either you didn't see it and you step on it and then you'll get bitten, or more likely it's the dogs. The dogs are the ones that tend to get bitten by adders, which is why all of the vets nearby growing up would always have anti-venom, because it's dogs. It's not really people that get bitten by them, it's definitely dogs. Oh dear. I'm at work, I didn't want to bother you. Oh, bless, no. It's lovely to see you guys. Thank you, you're always welcome. You're always welcome with the blue as well. If you ever want to, you can. I've seen like once or twice. They're very well camouflaged. They are, and especially in like gorse and heather because they're darker coloured. Yeah, they do. Who's heather? Why are they planting such dangerous bushes? Heather again. God damn it! It's always heather. She's got gardens of snakes. Oh dear. Yeah, I also had quite a few grass snakes. I have seen, actually, Shifty, I have seen snake in Wales. I was on a trip to Castle Corf. Castle Koch. That's what it was. And I saw a snake on the walk up to there. Yes, Koch. Yeah. I was like, Corf. It's Corf, right? No, it's not Corf. Koch. Castle, yeah. The more that I say it, the closer to cock it sounded like. I'm a bit careful, it's not Castle Cock. But yeah, on the way up there was a big grass snake. Well, I say big, no, it was not a big grass snake. It was a small grass snake, but it was big enough that I could see it. That's a long walk. It's a long, steep walk. It is. But yeah, I saw one there. There you go. That's one. I mean, that is kind of in a forest, which so it sort of makes sense. If you're going to see a snake, it's going to be in an area like that because the walk up is pretty foresty. It's been a minute since I've been there, to be fair. Also, by the way, very cool castle. If you have an interest in design, Castle Koch is really, really good. They have some really, really beautiful rooms inside that are so well preserved, and they have like all of Aesop's fables on the walls and stuff like that. Like stunning interior design. Very, very cool. It's like not the biggest, most impressive castle from the outside, although the location is cool. Just, you know, especially when you have like Caerphilly relatively close. But the inside of that castle, it's so good. So good. It's like one of the best interiors of a castle that I've seen, and it's so well preserved. So yeah, recommend that one if you like insides of castles and walking. Although, can you drive up there? I feel like maybe you can. We didn't, but I thought I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe, I don't remember if that's car park though. See, maybe you could drive up there, but I don't know if you could park. Regardless, it's still worth going. I can't help hearing Jenny say Castle Koch, but with the K instead. Yeah, I know. Listen, I do my best. There are some words I do try my best not to pronounce too often because it's like, I know that I'm not going to pronounce it well, but I do heavily recommend going. I swear, it's a very wholesome castle. Oh, no, there's a car park. Thank you. That's good to know. There you go. So if you want to avoid a steep walk, because it is a bit of a hike, drive. Oh dear, but maybe you want the opportunity to maybe come across a snake and sorry, that was me just smacking my face into the wall there, my bad. Maybe you want to, actually I don't like this needle very much, I'm getting the other one. But maybe you want to come across a snake, and if you want to maybe come across a snake, you'll probably have to walk. Oh dear. No, it's a good castle. It's one of the favorites that I've been to. I've been to, like, I'll be honest, maybe controversial take, but like the ones that like a lot of people go to, like Cardiff Castle, Caerphilly Castle, I think Castle Koch has more to offer, personally. personally, I mean, I am quite biased in I guess the fact that I really love the interior, and like, you know, Pavilion and Cardiff Castle definitely have their own charm as well, but I think between the three, that's my favourite. Oh dear. Just means Red Castle. It's an old castle turned into a fairy tale summer home. I remember, I learned a little bit about it while I was in uni actually, because they were talking about well, how to put it? They maybe didn't paint the owner in the best light. They didn't. My course didn't like the person who turned it into a summer house very much, but they do like the design of it a lot. I bet that castle a lot to offer. It does. It's really, really cool. Would recommend. And also, it's not that far from the train station, so like even if you don't drive, it's not difficult to get to. Yeah, would recommend. To be fair, the Brew family had a lot of blood in their hands. Yeah. Oh dear. I remember the person who was teaching us about it was getting very impassioned talking about it, and everyone was like, okay. We just want to go see it, but okay. Oh my god. And to be honest though, I do like when people are passionate about things. And when people have a lot of care about stuff, whether even if it's like they really dislike something, I appreciate the passion. And when it comes to learning as well, having teachers that are passionate goes a long way. They were very passionate. They cared a lot. Oh, I remember them so well because they did a lot of philanthropy, but yeah. Oh dear. Oh my god. Yeah, would recommend. It's a very, very cool building. The inside's really, really cool. I feel like recently, I'd say recently, it's probably a few years ago now at this point, I feel like they had some repairing renovation done as well. So I remember them being shut for a while just while they did some, I don't remember what it would have been, restoration stuff. So I think there's even maybe, it's from when I went, I think potentially you can go to a couple of other areas now, which would be cool. You might even see more than I saw. Yeah, restoration stuff, yeah. Like, I'd gone at one point, I've been a couple times now, but I'd gone at one point, and there was like an area called North. I think that would have been the area they were doing, but I could be wrong. It could have been something else went wrong. You know, with old buildings, it could have just been like the roof, to be honest. It could have been anything. But it's a very cool one. If you're going on the train up the valleys, you will see the castle as well, because you can see it from the train. Although I don't know, do people got the valleys for holiday, or do they only really got the valleys for work? I can't tell. If you were going to Wales on holiday, would you guard the valleys? I don't know. Ugh. Oh, I saw a metro train. Did you? Massive lucky bastards. You know what though? I'm not even mad. I'm glad they're doing stuff. I'm glad they're fixing the rail system a little bit. Because, like, honestly, it was one of the things I feel like that would really stop people exploring out of Cardiff. Like, was the rail system was awful. Like, you would go on it once and you'd be like, yeah, never again. Never again am I going on that. Especially in the summer when there wasn't, like, the windows couldn't open. It was so boiling hot. I kept going and going, oh my god, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. But also I'm glad, I genuinely am glad they're fixing it. Because, oh my god, there was the hot moment, the trains were really bad for a while. And again, like, it just kind of stops people exploring out of the cities if the transport's bad. I hope that they sort out the bus systems around Cardiff soon, because the buses used to work really well. And then they kind of started making the new bus station, and then everything kind of got thrown in the air for a bit. And, you know, buses are kind of important, at least for me. I know that they're planning on doing a tram. See how that goes. I like trams. They want to add a tram, you go for it. Hopefully, as long as it takes some of the strain off the rest of the trains, I guess that's fine. Yeah, I think the bus station might almost be done. Yeah, every time I see it, I'm surprised on how much work they've done. But yeah, it does look like it's getting pretty close to completion. Yes, me. Yeah, come to Wales. There's lots of restoration work happening here. Oh dear. Speaking of restoration work, because obviously we had I've been talking mainly about dogs, but like we did have family come over this morning as well, and they'd never seen the house before, the house where we're staying at the moment, and there's always a look people give us when they come into the house the first time where they're like, oh my god, it really is a building site, huh? And it's like, yeah, no one ever believes you. No one ever believes that you're living in a building site. They're like, there's no way, you're over exaggerating, it can't be that bad, Jelly, oh my god. And then they come over the first time and they're like, how long has it been like this? And you're just like, tis in fact a building site. Exactly how I described it to you. You know, I can be a bit dramatic at times, but there's also some terminology that I only use. I see the big pit, yeah. Actually, yeah, well, maybe, I know a lot of people don't like going underground, but it's a good option. Also, you have like Europe's fastest or longest? What is it? Europe's fastest or longest zip line? I know that's up north, but it's you know, it's there. Do you need a permit to come inside? You don't need a permit, but you do need like a fair set of warnings, because obviously a lot of the dust in the house is not the safest, so like don't disturb the dust. If like with the dogs, we made sure that downstairs was fine, but they couldn't go up the stairs, because as soon as they got up the stairs, that's where the floorboards are, and that means there are like gaps between the more structural floorboards where you can get like insulation dust and grit, and it's like you don't want the dogs going up to there, because it's just not very safe. Like it's not like gonna kill them, but it might make them quite ill, and so it's not worth it. So the dogs have to stay in the ground. Oh dear, you do need a hard hat at all times. You don't need a hard hat, you need a gas mask, and it's not even a joke. Like there are a couple of areas in our house where you only enter fully masked up. Yep. No hard hats though. Things aren't falling down, but like it's the stuff in the air which is the problem. But it's okay at the moment. It's okay at the moment. I've been able to look in the loft for a minute, and that's been cool. And most of the bad stuff is out. So for those who are wondering what's in the air, so we have some really tense music to play while I describe like what's dangerous in our air. We had rotten insulation in the house. So it was like insulation with lots of mold in it. And when you move that, it goes into the air. And it's like, it's not a very safe concoction to breathe in. Obviously, you don't want to be breathing in insulation anyway, but rotten insulation is like a definite no-no. Unless you want to like absolutely destroy your lungs, in which case go for it. But it's not super safe, and that's the stuff that could be like between the floorboards, which we wouldn't want the dogs to like get anywhere near. Even if it's not in the air, like we want to be very careful with that. It make you quite sick, so it's not worth it. No air, exactly, no air. Jelly is living in an evil sin for the crystal maze. Help, get me out. Oh dear, things aren't falling down, so that bump on your head has nothing to do with the dent in the floor. It does not. It does not. I was confused for a second. I was like, bump on my hand? How did you guys know I have hand bumps? I haven't even shown them off. Ah dear. Yeah, I get little lumps on my hand sometimes, but I know what they are. They're not a concern. I got lumpy hands. From this distance, you wouldn't be able to tell though. As far as you're concerned, my hands are stunning. So how did they come? Shoot! How did I get that cartoon lump on my head? Too much brain. Too much brain. That's how I got the lump on my head. I have a lot of too much brain. Yeah, too much brain. Just way too much brain. Yeah. I've just got a lot of brain going on in the, you know, just way too much for like just one head. So it, yeah. Yep, too much brain. It's too much. Wow. you know, people, you know that meme where like there's someone stood in the corner while everyone's talking at the party, and it's like people don't know that I have too much brain. I don't understand how nobody knows, but people don't know I got too much. Oh dear, they don't know I have too much brain. Me every day. Far too much brain. Oh dear. There we go. But by the way, we're just doing like these little like diamondish stars in between the sequins. It just adds like a little bit of something celestial to this because it is a very celestial themed costume. Yes, that's why we're doing it. They don't know I'm a slime lady on Twitch. Actually, a lot of people do. My mama has called me Jelly a couple times, and it's like, oh, oh, okay. It's something. Ah, dear. But yeah, I'm very careful with my family on Twitch. Like most of them know, it's best just not to say anything. My family called me Shifty once. It was wrong. Oh dear. I like the idea. Thing is, I'm really used to being called Jelly now, so like it feels a little weirder when people don't call me Jelly, because like I'm so used to just people calling me Jelly, that it's just like, yeah, cool, that's fine. When I hear other names now, I'm like, what? No, Jelly. My name is Jelly. I guess the difference is Jelly isn't really an insult, whereas if you call someone Shifty, it almost kind of it sounds like you've made a decision about them, you know? Oh dear, I like the name Shifty though. I think it's a good name. Am I biased? Maybe, but I still think it's a good name. May have a story about that. I'll do you. You streaming later? Have you got the story? Are you saving the story for the stream? Cough cough. Promoing my mod. Is Shifty gonna tell a funny story on stream later? Promo. Trying my best to promote my mods subtly, you know. Whether they won't realize that I'm, you know, trying to promote their streams, but secretly. I went out for a gym and I had all this socialo stuff, and they wanted to know my nickname. Aww. Funny enough, the shortening of my name on Light turned out to sound the same as my shortening of my name IRL. So I think, oh, that's kind of nice. Hey. I have a nickname to my family, but I go by Una to most names. So when people call me by my actual name, I'm like, ew. That's kind of how it feels to me as well. I'm like, ew. Who's calling me that? That's weird. That's not what people call me these days. Get with the program, guys. I have not gone by that name for a long time. I will never promote my stream. I'm doing my best. Calling myself Shifty was probably a bad idea, so I went with something else. See, Jelly's a good name. Very, very mild. People don't think too much about it. The other thing is, like, I can just say the reason why my nickname is Jelly, because it's the same reason that I call myself Crafty Jellyfish. It's to do with a tattoo on my back, and it very quickly directs any I guess attention away from my name and to the reason that I am called that. So it works pretty well, to be honest. Jelly's a good name. I like it. Did people think I'm saying Luna at first? Oh, instead of Una? Yeah, I could see that. Una, Luna. Yeah, that's fair. Oh dear. Like when I say Castle Koch. Everyone just assumes. Oh dear. There we go. Get that in there. Also, speaking of stream promotion, I'm gonna promote tomorrow's stream again. If you were here earlier, I'm sorry, you're gonna hear the same promotion again, but I want as many people who would want to see that stream to know as possible, because I'm only gonna do it once, and otherwise it'll be a video. If you, hi there, you watching, hi there, are you a VTuber? Are you trying to set up your first ever VTuber model in VTube Studio? Do you need someone to ask questions to and give you a helping hand with your VTuber model? Well, listen up, because tomorrow I'm going to be doing a very special stream where I talk you through how to set up your VTube model for your setup, for your specific streaming setup, because everyone's a little different, and what I'll do is I'll talk you through the sliders, I'll talk you through the parameters, and how changing them might benefit you and your VTuber's movement, so you can have like nice smooth movement and do the full range that was rigged for you. Yes. So if that sounds interesting to you, that is tomorrow. We're doing that live on stream, and then I'll be making it into a video afterwards. The plan is that we'll be doing it with one of my models, so you can kind of see how mine changed, but then I will also probably like to do it with one of the standard VTube Studio models, just so you can see the amount of difference a little bit of customizing can make. Yeah, so if that sounds interesting to you, that's tomorrow's stream. We're doing it in the afternoon because I have some family coming over in the morning, I think. I think they're coming over in the morning. I should probably check that at some point. I'm pretty sure they're coming over in the morning. I'm not assuming we all know where your brain is at. Ay, 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 ay. I mean, like Luna without the... Oh. I feel like I'm being called out. No, it's not for you personally. I think it's just like, I'll be honest, most people I give VTubers to ask about like sort of similar questions, and there's a lot of stuff where unless you're pretty familiar with VTube Studio that you might not realize, and it can be quite nerve-wracking going through all the parameters and knowing what to change. So I figured for everyone it could be kind of useful. You as well, of course, are welcome to join. If you want to get the most out of your VTuber, if you have any questions, you have 24 hours to think about it. 24 hours to think about whether or not you are getting the most out of your VTuber model. Ah, dear. The other thing is, what works for one person won't work for everyone, which is why it's like, I think making it a full stream might not be a bad idea. Because that way, if someone's having specific issues, for instance, glasses. We will talk about glasses tomorrow, but glasses make things a little difficult for your capture software, but it's not like you can't capture glasses, and lots of VTubers wear glasses while they stream. So it's just a little bit about tweaking your settings so that you can do that kind of stuff. And unless you know how you're gonna do it, like, it's hard. It is a bit of a learning curve, to put it lightly. How do you VTube? Exactly, how do you VTube? So that's tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow's stream is how to set up a VTuber model in VTube Studio that suits your setup, where your camera is, and like how much you move. Like, are you a very expressive person? Do you move a lot? Maybe if you're say you're a speedrunner, you're probably gonna move barely at all. You're probably gonna be like this for the whole stream. And at that point, why are you bothering using a VTuber model? Because it's barely moving. But there are ways that you can still have your VTuber model moving and stuff like that, you know, without having to worry about your own body movement so much. There you go. Selling it. Oh, the Lee, welcome in. I'm always back to, oh, really? Heck yeah. Did you make it? I didn't, Lee. No holidays for Jelly. But I'm glad that you're feeling a lot better. Heck yeah, I had glasses and would love to know how to set up. Yeah, so there is going to be a lot more checking things, but I will go through it with you because there are some stuff you can do. So probably get a camera set up for it first. Having even the camera set up. So like, for instance, for me, again, we'll go over this tomorrow because you'll see, I'm planning on having like a camera capturing my face and a camera capturing what the VTuber is doing. So it's going to be a bit of a setup. But like the way that my camera is, I don't know how obvious it is, but my camera is like underneath me. It's like underneath my chin, and it's looking up at me. The reason I do that is because I'm often bent over like this when I'm crafting. So having it underneath makes sense. But for most people, that's a really bad idea. Like having your camera underneath your face, it's just going to mean that your character is always kind of looking up, which is like, okay, you can do that, but they're not going to be looking in the right place very often. So camera placement as well is also very important. The camera you have itself is not so important, to be honest, but the camera placement is. And the confidence level, how far away you are, how close you are, all of that kind of stuff. Excuse me. You know, if you have multiple monitors, where it goes within those monitors as well, because like, if I'm looking at my other monitor, I'm turning all the way over here. That's quite dramatic. So it's like that sort of stuff. Oh dear. Oh, thank you for the hick. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh dear. So yeah, we'll be going over all that kind of stuff. Also, bring your questions. I'll probably do a very basic run through first, and then we'll take questions afterwards so that we can go through anything like more specific after. But yeah, we will be taking questions if you have any questions about how your model is getting set up, if you're worried about things, just so we can hopefully tackle as many people's problems as possible. Like glasses will be one, camera positioning will be another, going through all the parameters and what they do and how they can affect your model. Yes, all of that. As well as just like importing your model for the first time anyway. Also, going from start to finish is basically the plan. It'll probably not be a super long stream, but it'll probably end up being quite a long video if I had to guess. Sorry, oh no, you're fine, don't worry. Lee, I spent all morning petting puppies, so honestly, I can't complain that much. I had a wonderful morning seeing some of my family, because what's happening now is because I couldn't go, my family is visiting on the way back from the holiday. So the holiday was actually, they did it quite close to where we live. That's why I didn't want to say it. But they did it quite close to where we live. So that it wasn't going to be too hard for me to get to them and they could pick us up on the way. But obviously I wasn't able to go because of other reasons, like because my family had COVID and stuff. So yeah, they've been dropping by on the way. Now I should say as well, everyone who's tested negative and isn't ill is dropping by on the way back from the holiday, so I get to see them one by one kind of thing. Yes. Are there other apps? There are, but I only use VTuber Studio. The reason that I use it, first of all, because it works really well. You can get it on your phone and you can add a lot of extra sliders. It's the most popular face capture for a 2D model at this point, so yeah, it's free. You can get a free version. You can pay for it as well, and again, you can also get it on your phone and stuff. I actually do have it on my phone. I just don't have it to set up to capture my phone just yet. But at some point, I probably will, because the phone capture gives you extra options with face, like being able to move your mouth side to side, and also like pout better. So just, you know, has slightly better face recognition. But for now, VTube Studio is kind of leading it when it comes to 2D face capture for VTubers. Again, having it be free is a really big boon, but also it's just very good. It's just very good. It also has models already on it, so if you're looking to like practice before receiving your own kind of model, you can practice like set up on the ones that are already there. They probably won't be set up perfectly well. I'll be honest, I was mucking with one a little bit earlier, just to see how out of whack it was for me personally, and there was a lot that I wanted to change, which is why I feel like it'd be quite a good one to go through and show you like a before and after kind of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of customization though. It's good, it's good. Oh, come on, there you go. Oh, and in there. And yeah, I should say I won't be teaching people how to do any other programs because I'm not familiar with with other VTuber face capture software, and I don't want to give bad information. I would like to, you know, ideally only give information where I'm confident about it. Confidence. I have a lot of confidence about VTube Studio. Not maybe so much about other ones. Ah, dear. Technically I could probably save models for other ones, but you know, when you can, like for me, I'm comfortable exporting as a VTube Studio model because I know that first of all the person can get it for free, but I also know that I can double check it pretty thoroughly, so I can make sure that I'm getting the most out of it before I send it to anybody else. Whereas if I'm not so familiar with the capture software, I think I'd be worried that I wouldn't be able to test it thoroughly enough. That would always be kind of a fear for me, at least. But I'm always on the eye out for other softwares that are potentially going to, you know, cause a stir in the community. And, well, I haven't seen any yet. I wouldn't be surprised if more did pop up over time. There we go. Difficult to rival free, though, is the thing. I feel like they do have a head start just by having a free version, which is pretty good. I use the free version. I know a couple people that have paid for it, but I use free. It's pretty good. Oh dear. And I'm using my old camera, so it's not even got like that good of a capture. Oh dear, right, I'm gonna sip, so I'm gonna look angry. Angry face, heck yeah. We got the rice now, so it's called. Good job. Heck yeah, I hope that it's delicious. Oh dear. I accidentally added the seasoning when it was still in like the hot pan from the rice cooker, and maybe you can do that, but the smell of vinegar was very, very strong in the kitchen after I did that. I probably should have removed it from the heat first. At the very least, because yeah, the smell of vinegar was like, oh, like singe your nostrils kind of smell. But then it didn't taste too strong, so I do think I seasoned it right. I just don't think I should have done it when it was still on the heat. Oh dear, or maybe not on the heat that much, with no water in it and stuff. Oh dear. What am I getting stuck on? I'm getting stuck on my desk. Oh dear, that's the problem with using a really long thread. So much to get stuck on. There we go. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. There you go. Sorry. My mouse got stuck. Don't worry about it. I have a little concern. I've moved my charger to another room. So if my mouse runs out of charge today, it's like, well, goodbye everyone. I don't know what to do. How do I turn my stream off if my mouse loses charge? I guess I'd have to go find it. There we go. Oh, I love it when we add the stars, honestly. I know it's not like a huge difference on camera maybe, but like, it looks so cool in person. I really hope I can show some of you this when it's finished. Maybe this time we'll actually like hire a good camera for a bit to take some photos of it afterwards, just for the detail shots, because like there's going to be so much going on each of these pieces. I really want people to see the detail. To like the naked eye, it looks really cool. I mean, obviously I'm biased because this is the style that I like doing costumes in, but I love it. It's so shiny. It's got the stars in it. It's so cool. Oh my god, wait, what's this stuck on? You stuck on something? There you go. You're not stuck. You're just being silly. Wow. There we are. I still do think that it almost looks better on the darker color though, which is genuinely surprising because this is the one I did all the tests on. I did them all in the lilac. But somehow I do think it just, I don't know. Just something about it. Like that's so striking. Maybe this is fine because it's like more subtle, but like, I don't know. It just looks so cool. And it's the same sequence and everything. And you can kind of tell it's the same sequence, but they're very much more muted than this one, whereas this one you can really see like the greenish blue color coming through. Ah, love it. You love it. It's so cool. I guess it's good to like your own costume there. After all, most people make their own costumes with their own style in mind. Probably a good job that I like it. If I didn't like it, who else would? This is for me after all. There we go. I might. 2 seconds, sorry. Double checking. It's fine. Okay, cool. I was gonna say I might end in just a second, just because I'll be honest, if I end now, I can probably have like a little nap for a couple hours and try and get some more energy back by the evening so that I can properly plan for tomorrow's stream. I know it's a very short one. I'm sorry, I just emotionally I feel very fulfilled, especially after petting all the dogs and seeing my family and stuff, but like physically I'm a little bit sleepy, to be honest. It's been quite a busy morning. I get sleepy very quickly, so I might finish this one up and then we'll find a very sweet bean to send you all to. Actually, no, I'm glad I got to see as many people as I did. That's the thing with short streams, you don't get to say hello to as many people, especially since this isn't my normal time to stream. But I'm glad I got to see all of you. I got to chat with a lot of you, all things considered. So I'm not mad about it, and I'm happy that we did stream. Tomorrow though, I don't know if it'll be in the morning or the afternoon. Probably it's the afternoon. If that changes, I'll let you know. So it'll probably be about the same time that I started stream today. We're going to be doing a bit of an unusual stream. And so again, if you don't have an interest in, like, if you're like, I'm never going to get a VTuber, I don't care. Like, tomorrow probably won't be the stream for you. But if you are ever planning on getting a VTuber, or maybe if you already have one and you don't feel like it's working as well as you'd like, pop by tomorrow if you have any questions. We'll be taking questions after I've done the main part of the tutorial, just so we can get as much information out there as possible, because there's always a chance I might answer your question just with the regular stuff. But then if after we've done like the general setup stuff, you still have any questions, please pop by, please ask them, and we can hopefully sort out your model so that it's working to its full potential. What I will say is if you do have another rigger, like someone has rigged your model for you, just in general, like it's good practice to ask them if you're like worried about something, like, hey, is this working properly? Because they might say, yes, that's how I intended it. And then, you know, it's maybe not a problem with your setup, it's just that's how the VTuber is, right? And since your rigger is kind of like an artist, like changing that without their permission can be a little bit like, it's not like you can't do it, but it's a little bit rude. It's the same way as like it's best not to alter a VTuber without the permission of the artist, because it's kind of like you wouldn't commission an art piece for someone and then scribble over it. Like that's kind of what you do. So like if you are planning to do anything that's maybe a little different, check with your rigger and artist first, make sure they're okay with it. Like for instance, the color change thing. Like obviously I make my own model, so it's not really a problem. But like in every tutorial you'll see about the color change thing, the people will be like, if you are doing color changing on your model, ask your artist first. Very rude to just do that without mentioning it, because it makes it seem like you're scribbling over your artist's work. It's just, listen, it's not that you can't do it, but will they want to work with you again? Probably not. I think a lot of people don't see VTubers as art, and sometimes because of that think it's okay to just alter them left, right and center without mentioning it to their artist, and it does come off as quite rude. So that would, before we do tomorrow's stream, I will bring it up tomorrow's stream as well, just because I will also be talking about Kiki, thank you for the horn. I will also be talking about how I do my color change stuff as well, just because we will go past it. But just so that no one gets the wrong idea, I made my own model and I do my own art. So me changing the color of my art is one thing, but before you do that to your art, you might want to ask your artist or rigger, just to make sure they're okay with it. 99% of people will be like, they're fine with it. It's just like a politeness thing, you know. Going gender explore. Oh, shopping with a friend tomorrow. It's probably, no, you're fine. Heck yeah. Oda, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Also, Rafiki, as I love having you here. I'm so sorry. We are about to raid out. I have to do a really short stream today because I'm quite tired. But we're going to be coming back tomorrow with a really unusual stream where we talk about how to set up a VTuber. It might not be for you. It's very much going to be like, some people will love it, but it very much won't be for everyone. But I wanted to do it because obviously we have been giving out a lot of VTubers to the community, and I want people to be able to get the most use out of them. So like they're not wasting the potential of the model. Yes. Also, I'm going to send you to Messenger. Messenger is doing a speed run of the mines in Stardew Valley. Messenger does really, really comfy vibes, so I think you'll enjoy it there if you've never been there before. But also, I love Stardew Valley. I think Stardew Valley is great. I am going to shout them out as well, just in case any of you get left behind, because sometimes, unfortunately, the raids are leaving people behind at the moment. If you would like to get a raid call, we have a couple there you can grab. It's interesting to hear. When I do art commissions, I think the only hang-up I have, and ask people to let me know, is if they're planning to distribute it. Yeah, well, it's very, very fair. I think with VTuber models, again, a lot of people don't really see them as art, even though a lot of art goes into making a VTuber model. It's just like, say you commission it with pink hair and someone then decides to color over it in green and it makes all the shading look weird. It can kind of reflect badly on you as an artist if people think that that's, you know, the art that you've commissioned, you know? So it can be worth double checking with the artist, because sometimes changing the colors of things does make them look worse. And some artists won't like you doing that, because it's like, well, you commissioned me for this. If you'd wanted it with another hair color, you could have commissioned me for that, rather than just scribbling over my work in green and being like, done. But obviously everyone's different. Personally, I don't mind if people do whatever. Like, listen, once I sell the model to you, do whatever the heck you want with it. But I do think it's worth bearing in mind that not everyone will have the same mindset, and like that's very fair. Like, I can definitely see where people come from, where they're like, I'm really annoyed that someone commissioned something from me and then did that to it because it makes me look bad by being associated with it. Yeah, but it's obviously everyone's different. Not everyone will be upset by that. Oh god, we're raiding already. Jesus Christ, I didn't realize we were going that quickly. Did I even get that?